Ghostbusters!
Okay, so as some of you might know, last month Mike and I, my brother, we went to Too Many Games in Philadelphia, and it was a great time. We bought some cool stuff, did some cool stuff, saw some cool stuff, met a lot of great people that we admired. I got to, just wander around and be kind of an idiot like I usually am. But something very bad happened during that trip. I lost my camera. Yeah. This camera was the same one that I used to film a lot of my reviews since Captain Toad and up to now. And it had a lot of footage on it. I was going to get a bunch of footage from the convention so I could make like a big compilation of stuff there, like all the people. And I got some cool stuff. I got some great stuff. But at some point we lost it, and presumably it got stolen. So just temporarily, we're going to be using my brother's phone, which is what we're using right now. It's taped to my tripod, so that's how we're going to keep it stationary. And we're probably gonna keep this for a while until I can get a new camera, which will probably be for a little while. But this works fine, and show must go on. So I'm not gonna pull down the intro or anything like I did before. I'm just gonna let the video play out naturally. So just stay with me, guys, and let's get going. I never thought I'd say this, but there's a new Ghostbusters movie coming out today. And despite a lot of controversy surrounding it, particularly because of the female cast and its subpar sense of humor, I'm the very least curious to check it out. So to celebrate, we're going to be taking a look at a very obscure Ghostbusters game released for the NES, only in Japan and Europe. Let's take a look at New Ghostbusters 2. I don't know why it's called that. Just roll with it.
Ghostbusters. One of the most beloved comedies of all time, and certainly one of my favorites. What's not to love about four schmucks strapping on a couple proton packs and catching ghosts in New York City? It was the first big mix of action and comedy most people had seen on the big screen, and it was really successful. But the game we're playing today is based on the sequel, Ghostbusters 2, which I personally think is just as good as the original. It's not better, but I don't think it tries to be. Anyway, New Ghostbusters 2 was released in Japan in 1990 and then a year later in Europe. It was developed and published by HAL Laboratory, the same company that created Kirby and Super Smash Bros. But because Activision owned the video game rights to Ghostbusters at the time, the game was never released in North America, which is a crying shame because this is a much better game than anything they put out back then.
Like I said, the game was never released in America, so I'm gonna have to emulate it. I'm not sure how everyone else feels about emulation. For me, it's really the only way I can get high quality footage of my older games. Until I can get my hands on a Retron 5. One day, my love.
Already it looks good thanks to my fancy schmancy game capture device, but graphically it also holds up pretty well. You can tell which character is which, the locations all look different and are based on scenes from the movie, and each of the ghosts have very creative designs. However, the game does seem to get away with using recolors a lot. Seriously, how many more versions of Slimer do we need? And I have no idea why Winston is blue. Is that racist? So here's how the game plays. First, you pick two Ghostbusters to play as. You can pick between Ray, Venkman, Egon, Winston, and even Lewis. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually pretty awesome. I'm gonna go with him just because he was played by Rick Moranis, who was also Dark Helmet in Spaceballs, which is one of the funniest movies ever, and everybody needs to watch it. Oh, and I'll go with Venkman too. It's Bill Murray, why not? After you pick your Ghostbusters, the game begins. I'm guessing this is the courthouse. And right away, you'll notice that this Ghostbusters NES game is far different from that other Ghostbusters NES game. Because New Ghostbusters 2 actually focuses on what every Ghostbusters game should be about. Busting ghosts. Not buying stuff or watching the Ghostbusters logo derp around the city or all that. For real though, nobody should play this game. Now, how do you bust said ghosts? I'll tell you how. Pressing the A button lets the Ghostbuster in front shoot a laser out of its proton pack at the ghost, thereby holding it in place. And pressing the B button lets the Ghostbuster in the back release the trap. Not only is that unique, but it's just so cool. In this game, there's nothing more satisfying than holding a ghost and watching my partner trap it in... Venkman? Did he just You with, huh.
I don't think he's coming back.
Once you catch every ghost in a specific part of the level, an arrow appears telling you where to go next. It's only a little too obvious, but it's helpful for gamers who worry about getting lost. Like me. Because I'm a stupid casual. Catching ghosts also earns you points, and after getting a certain number of points, you get an extra life. And you're gonna need them because these Ghostbusters aren't exactly agile. Take 3 hits and it's game over, and you only get 3 continues. That's kinda lame, but at least you start back in the area you died in, so at least they're kind of generous about it. But while the game is certainly fun to play, it's not without a few other issues. First off, it might just be the emulation, but the controls, at least when moving, aren't always responsive. There's this weird thing where if I try to turn in a certain direction, it kinda fidgets around and doesn't work too well. I also find it odd that you can catch ghosts from behind certain walls, but not every wall. When I have a ghost trapped in my laser, my partner will sometimes not be facing the right direction to trap it, or just leave. Again?
Come on, Bill Murray. I knew you weren't really happy with being in Ghostbusters 2, but don't bail out on me now. Save it for the new movie. Which I'm sure tons of people are going to be walking out on. If they choose to see it.
At least the music's pretty good. It doesn't hold a candle to other NES soundtracks like DuckTales or anything, but it's still got some nice stuff here and there.
It's time for random trivia!
The soundtrack was composed by Jun Ishikawa, who's also done a lot of the Kirby soundtracks. The famous Green Greens theme from the original Kirby's Dream Land, that was him. He's very talented, though I'm sure he could have made the Ghostbusters theme sound a little better in 8-bit. So every single stage is based on a location from the movie. You got the courthouse, the subway, Dana Barrett's apartment, the sewer with the river of slime, all that good stuff. At the end of each stage is a boss ghost. No, I said boss ghost, not box ghost. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, there's a boss ghost at the end of each stage, and I only recognize a few of them from the movie. This is where New Ghostbusters 2 gets really random. There's a boss that's really easy, a boss that's extremely frustrating, a boss that literally doesn't do anything, and there's even a boss that just never shows up at all. And they don't appear in an order that makes the game feel like it's getting gradually harder as you keep playing. It's all over the place. It's like, what? Wow. Okay. When it should be, wow. What? Okay.
And for all those people at home who want to get into making game reviews like me, that is how you get people to take you seriously. I should know I'm on the internet.
Alright, here we go. We're up to Vigo the Carpathian. Kind of odd, since we're only 4 levels in, but maybe there's more after this. Like, maybe he brings out more ghosts for us to fight before we can catch him again. Right? Anyway, this battle has a really weird mix of being easy and difficult. You have to shoot your proton laser to stun him while avoiding this stuff. Okay, it's been a while since I've actually seen Ghostbusters 2, but I'm pretty sure this didn't happen in the movie. Did it? Well, he could do this. That's pretty close. Woo! Got him! And credits?
I beat the game? Already? That was only 5 levels! This is an NES game released in 1990/1991, and it only has 5 levels? You gotta be kidding me! I'm sure you were probably expecting this review to be longer, but so was I, because I really wasn't expecting to beat the game so soon. I mean, seriously, only 5 levels? Super Mario Bros. Had more levels than this, and that's a game you can beat in less than 5 minutes. Heck, even Super Mario Land on the Game Boy had more levels. Wait, didn't they mention Super Mario Bros. In the movie?
So you want to play Boggle or Super Mario Brothers?
Huh, weird. Why couldn't there be a stage where you're walking through the streets of New York in the Statue of Liberty? They even use a Nintendo controller to control the Statue of Liberty in the movie. It's not this one, it's the NES Advantage, but you know what I mean. I'm just going off tangent right now. Why is this game so short? You know, I'm gonna look it up. Okay, so... you know how I compared this game to Super Mario Land? A Game Boy game? Well, apparently... the reason why New Ghostbusters 2 is so short is because it's a port of a Game Boy game. Yeah, there is a Game Boy version simply titled Ghostbusters 2 that only came out a few months before the NES version did. The only difference between the two is that the NES game has different level layouts and different music. Alright, but Super Mario Land is still longer. and why they chose not to add more levels to the NES game is, quite frankly, bizarre.
Some NES games would purposely be short just so that the outrageously high difficulty can make it feel longer without actually being longer. I would say that New Ghostbusters 2 is a good example, but really, it's not. There's only one part of the game that's super tough, while the rest of it is admittedly kind of average, and I still have no idea why they kept it as minimal as they did, but I actually had a pretty good time with it. This game is nothing mind-blowing. There are so many other NES games out there that'll give you much more bang for your buck. It's definitely not a classic like Dr. Mario or Contra, but compared to the other Ghostbusters games that came out at the time, this pretty much tops them all. It's just a shame that North Americans didn't get it until the internet became a thing. Yeah, it may be short, maybe even insultingly short, but when I'm going around busting ghosts in a surprisingly creative way, I genuinely feel like I'm playing the movie. Even if you're not a fan of the movie, you'll probably enjoy playing the game too. It's repetitive, but very charming. Combine that with its appealing graphics and upbeat soundtrack, there's no way I can leave New Ghostbusters 2 gathering dust, spores, molds, and fungus on the shelf. Mostly because I don't have a physical copy of it, but give it a shot when you have the chance.
As for right now, though, I'm going to be taking a small break. I'm still getting over the loss of my camera, rest in peace, and I'm long overdue for some time away from these reviews, so I'll pretty much be gone for the rest of the summer. But I will be back in September with another video, and hopefully by then I'll be completely motivated again. Now this is the part of the video where I cut to a montage of popular YouTubers that I met at Too Many Games singing the Ghostbusters theme song, but all the footage that I got was recorded on the camera that I lost while I was there, so instead, I'm gonna plug this. I just set up a Patreon page. I don't know if you can see my hands, but it's right here. Set up a Patreon. It's completely optional. You don't have to pledge any money if you don't want to, but it's there if you feel like you want to contribute to this channel in some monetary way. After I lost my camera, I'm hoping that using Patreon will help me save up to buy not just a new camera, but also new lights, faster computer, new equipment, all that good stuff. I'll probably make a separate video detailing it a little bit more, going into more detail like rewards you can get for pledging and, you know, that jolly good stuff. I'll put a link to it in the description, the Patreon, not the video because I haven't made it yet. And again, don't laugh, it's completely optional. You don't have to donate if you don't want to, but it's there if you feel kind enough to give me your money. That's not greedy at all, is it? Anyway, with that said, this is Mark, aka Super Smash 3DS, bidding you all a smashing farewell. So, I'm gonna have to...
You're gonna have to
Yeah, I'm gonna...
go take that.
Gonna take the game like blah blah blah. I'm not sure how...
Yeah, let me just focus on you first.
Focus on me. Come on, Bill Murray.
This motorcycle.
What? Oh.
Thanks, asshole.
After I lost my camera... And I'm screwing up, so I'm going to start again. And hopefully, I'll be completely screwed up.
Get crunked.
Completely high on drugs.
Get crunked.
What do they look like?
Cross-eyed. Like I said, make it like big.
Right. Like, big, the cat!
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Oh, damn.